All right. Myself, can you hear me? So, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear
Okay,
me?
perfect. Yeah, I can hear you a lot clear. That's good. Okay. Okay, we should be fine now. We're waiting on Dominique. There is actually 1 second. Let's see.
Oh, are we good?
Yeah, we're gonna start just in a few minutes. We're waiting on Dominique.
Uh, you can hear me fine?
Loud and clear.
Are you guys in the same city?
Yes, we are in the same city.
You going to the
I'm in.
office?
No, I'm not in the office. But Dominique will be in the office.
It
But I'm
said
waiting
that
on
could
him.
be Abu Dhabi.
Yep. Okay, there he is. So let's fix the view. Okay. All right, let's add, here is Mr. Dominique. So we're pinned 3 of us. If you guys want to open your cameras.
Noor, I think you need to enable the cameras.
Enable the cameras. Okay, 1 second.
Yeah, I
Second.
know. We cannot start the video.
All right, 1 second. I'm checking. There you go. You can start your cameras now. Well, we started the YouTube earlier because we had to.
Start
So
video.
we'll have to flip that.
Yeah, start video. Video setting. Okay.
I can't see you guys.
Why am I not starting automatically? Alien show.
Can you
Start
enable it from your
video.
side?
Okay. All right. Yalla, come on, let's get this show started. Straight to Harris and Kamala. Ahlan, Dominique.
Hello.
Okay, so now I'm just checking on how the YouTube is going to be. Okay, gallery, that would be better, or non-gallery.
And Noor, I think you need to accept the attendees that we have in the waiting room.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. If YouTube already started, let's do that so people would know that we started as well.
Okay, let me just all right, here's the three of us. And now we can go ahead. All right, I think we're good.
Let me just put something here. You just adjust something. Hold on.
Yeah, sure. A lot of hot topics today, huh?
Yeah, all right, let me go ahead and just start the session so people won't wait for long. Good. All right, there we go.
Thinking to go live as well. Noor,
Yes, sir.
share with us as well the YouTube link. Can you on the chat
the YouTube link?
or on the group?
Sorry. I'll send it to you.
Well, obviously, if there's any questions and I cannot see the questions, you guys pass them.
Yeah,
them
of
on
course.
to me.
I'll pass them along.
Sure.
Here's Q&A. Okay, but let's start with just asking people if they can see us, if it's loud and clear.
Did you accept the attendees?
He's supposed to be in. Yeah, so I mean, they're texting, so I can see them. All right. Okay, you want to take the lead?
Yep.
All righty, go ahead.
Go live here as well.
I have a sharing screen abilities. I've got a few things I want to share.
Yeah, I can give you whatever you need.
Yeah, let's enable that from now.
There you go.
All right.
Here, we have the first one on YouTube. Somebody's texting on from Chile.
Why don't we make the intro our issue?
Yeah, we're gonna do that. Just give it a sec. All clear, perfect. Okay. I think people can hear us properly. So shall we?
Yeah, go ahead. Be my guest.
All right. So, good evening, everyone, and thank you all for attending. Today is going to be a special episode. We have Mr. Ashraf Laidi with us, and we have Nuruddin Hamouri. We're going to discuss mainly, or the main discussion is going to be about the U.S. presidency and how does the U.S. presidency or the elected president affect the market from the stock market, affects commodities, healthcare, everything. We're going to discuss everything inside out, gold, oil, whatever you guys want. If you have any questions, you can text us and we'll answer all your questions. But before we start, Ashraf, I know that you are in London and today we have a special event in the UK, which is the UK budget. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how does that affect the market and the international market, not just GBP, the currency itself alone?
Yes, hi Dominic, أهلا نور, hello SquaredFinancial, hello to the English speakers, ومرحبا للحاضرين العرب. We're going to try to mix it up with English and Arabic. راح نحاول نخلطها شوي بالإنجليزي والعربي. اصبروا معنا شوي. أنا عملت ندوة كاملة عن الانتخابات بالعربي اللي تقدروا تشوفوها في قناتي في يوتيوب. لذلك راح نتكلم أكثر شيء بالإنجليزي. So we're going to speak in English mainly, بس راح يكون في slides بالعربي كمان. Yes, okay. So in summary, this is a very important budget in the UK because they need to increase a lot of taxes, but they still need to increase spending and investment. And so they need to increase taxes. This is the Labour Party. So when you increase taxes, it's sort of called the restrictive fiscal policy. But at the same time, they need to borrow money. Well, at the same time, the new government found a fiscal hole, where basically there was a big deficit unaccounted for. So long story short, the Bank of England is not in a hurry to cut interest rates. Okay, they're not. But when they see the government raising taxes, which has more of a short-term effect, restricting the economy, and even though they will be increasing spending, but still have to cut spending on the long term, I think the Bank of England is probably going to have to start cutting interest rates sooner than later. And they've already cut rates. And there is, I know we're talking about the US elections. أنا بعرف إنه عم نتكلم على الانتخابات الأمريكية اللي راح تكون يوم الثلاثاء القادم, next Tuesday. But the Bank of England decision, قرار البنك المركزي الإنجليزي راح يكون يوم الخميس. And this one could be probably expected to have a nice rate cut, at least at 25. And that is why I think that, how do you play this? I think that one of the plays where you play sterling may not be really short sterling dollar. Obviously, it will be short sterling dollar if Trump wins, but euro sterling is a nice technical play here. Long euro, long sterling. No matter how bad you think of the Eurozone, no matter how the problems are, technically, this is a nice play. And so basically, from a risk management, look where the low is, look where the support is. You don't need to be a genius in placing stops to put a stop at, let's say, 83.
You're talking about euro sterling, right?
Euro sterling, yeah. And this is
why, Ashraf, do you think if Trump wins, it's gonna flip the expectation for the GBP USD in particular?
Because Dominic, I think Trump win is going to be short-term positive for the dollar. So هلا if we are ready to start to go into the other topic of the elections and the dollar, let's go. Close the sterling door, open the US door, and Trump and Noor, Dominic, you open it. You open that door. Go ahead.
All right. All right. So let me pick it up. I'm going to start with you, Noor. So the main discussion now is basically who's going to win the election and how each president or each elected or the ones that will be elected, how they will affect the market.
Yeah.
We have a lot of questions. We have a lot of expectations in the market. And the main thing that we are looking for at the moment, the main thing is how is it going to affect the US dollar first, the US index? Based on that, we're gonna start talking about the rest of the things because the main leader eventually, the king, is the US dollar. Based on that, we're gonna see how it goes. With the current position of the US dollar above 104, are we gonna be able to maintain those levels? Are we gonna see the dollar getting stronger? Would Donald Trump or Kamala Harris push for more rate cuts? And how would the Fed be flexible with the presidents or not?
Oh, you asked a lot of questions. To start with, I think there's something that we have to mention also, beginning with since we're talking about the elections and who's going to win. It brings me back to two events. One is basically 2016 elections when Hillary Clinton was projected to win by 80%. And even some of the reports, according, let's say, New York Times, they published an article about a few days before saying that Hillary Clinton has a 90% chance to win this election. And what happened was the opposite. Same thing for Brexit. It was also the polls were totally different from what happened or the reality. And what's bothering or not bothering me, what I am afraid of. Now, the majority is talking about a Trump win, The market has been pricing in a Trump win, including, stocks, including also gold, because his policies is basically, we're talking about a risk of inflation again. And this is why basically the gold is going up. So I think that we should keep some room when it comes to risk management of a surprise, meaning what if Kamala Harris wins? What is going to happen to gold? What's going to happen to equities? Equities, I think it's going to be a short-term anyway, a short-term play. But when it comes to the dollar, or as you asked about the Federal Reserve, it doesn't matter whether Trump or Kamala Harris. It depends on the policies that's going to come with them. For the time being, if you ask me about the US dollar, it was a correction move. After especially that markets were already priced in for the rate cuts, and there was a lot of possibly, I would say, short selling before even the decision of the Federal Reserve. And as we always know, the market always prices in the events in advance. With that being said, I would love to ask Ashraf here what he thinks about the elections from one side, and what do you think about the dollar going forward?
Yeah, it's true. It's interesting right now. Not only, guys, we have the benefit right now that we didn't have in 2016, which is 2016. People who were saying Hillary will win, Trump will win. Who was talking? It was the political market. It was the polls. But right now we have a third guy called the market. He's speaking. You have Donald Trump's company rallying, bond yields rallying, the dollar rallying. So people are not really paying attention to the politics, and they're talking to the language of the market. This is the benefit. I'm going to share my screen because I just realized, when I was speaking about euro sterling, I was not sharing it. So let me do that.
All right,
go ahead.
And in the meantime, actually, Noor, you mentioned something related to the equities short-term move.
Yeah.
I don't know, Ashraf, if you agree as well. But I believe that usually the stock market, or Wall Street in particular, they will accept and they will push and they will be positive no matter who is the elected president, because we've seen that when Hillary versus Trump before, and we didn't know Trump. We didn't know the way that he's going to deal with the market before. And even with that, the market accepted and they showed how much they supported the elected president. So I believe Wall Street always support the elected president, no matter what's going to happen.
The incumbent. It's a bit complicated than that, Dominic, because if the current it's a bit complicated because Harris is not really a current president, but she's going to extend the current policies. But if the current president is going to raise more taxes than the new one, it's a bit different. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
What can you see?
We can see basically the whole screen. You're selecting between November and May.
Lovely, lovely. So you only can see chart, right?
Yeah, we can see the chart.
Lovely. But before we go to the chart, هلا رح نحكي عربي وإنجليزي. Let's go through a few slides and then we go to the chart. Let's do this.
Can you tell us which chart is this, so the audience can know?
I will not tell you yet. I will show.
Oh, that's the mystery chart.
So now we have PowerPoint, yeah?
Okay,
Yeah.
yes.
Let's go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. انطلق. Let's go. So بالعربي بالإنجليزي. Sorry, there was no Greek, no Chinese. So basically, a Trump win would have a short-term positive impact for the US dollar through tariffs and higher bond yields. Okay, so basically you are going to have راح يكون عندك سياسات عدوانية مع الاستيراد, ولا you're going to have a sort of adversarial politics. So basically you are raising the cost of imports. You're raising imports costs. And at the same time, he is what? He is cutting taxes. So when you're cutting taxes, it is good for the stock market, but bad for the budget deficit. And that's why it's going to be bad in the long term for the US dollar. But for the short term, it's going to be positive for the dollar because yields are going to go up on what? On inflationary expectations. انت لما ترفع التعريفات الجمركية راح ترفع في مخاطر التضخم, العوائد بترتفع والدولار يرتفع. Okay, so that was said
على long term, مش على short term.
Sorry?
We're talking on the long term, not on the short term.
No. Let's talk about the short term first, because most of the people who are paying attention, he wants to know what's going on in the next hour, in the next 2 hours, in the next 3 days. All right? I think it's very important for traders and even the next week. A short term for me is at least a month, okay? And this is what the short term is. And I will tell you what happened in 2016 so we can talk about the short term, okay? Now, there's something very important. The mix of monetary and fiscal policy in the event of a Trump victory could be supportive of the US dollar across the growth channel, but there will also be questions about the independence of the Federal Reserve. إيش يعني? To what extent will Trump open his mouth and start to interfere with Powell like he tried to do during his presidency, and then he gave up, okay? If he ever says anything about, oh, Powell is not doing a good job, oh, Powell need to cut interest rates faster, the dollar is going to fall quickly, okay? So let's be careful here. Now, this is very important. Why is this important? The makeup of Congress. Why? We are talking about Trump-Harris, but if Harris wins and Congress is going to be very close, she's not going to be able to raise taxes that much. So the situation is not going to be that bad for the stock market. And ladies and gentlemen, anybody who's been long enough in the market will know an expression. Gridlock is good for the economy. الارتباط السياسي ولا التعلق السياسي انه لما يكون الكونغرس بين مجلس الشيوخ والنواب ما يكون فيه فوز كبير، هذا راح يعرقل قوة او قدرة الحكومة انها بتمرر سياساتها، ولذلك ما يكون فيه ميول كبير الى المتطرف الايمن او الايسر. There will not be extremist policies, there will be stable policy, and it will be more or less good for the stock market. Okay, so اللي بيتكلم العربي فيه ندوة كاملة باللغة العربية هنا في قناتي في يوتيوب. So now we can go deeper. Now in the long term, why is the long term important? Because if Trump is going to say, I don't care about the Ukraine, I'm not going to give money to the Ukraine, Putin is going to do whatever he wants in the Ukraine, and then there will be some risk off, and maybe the dollar will push slightly higher, but then the de-dollarization movement, BRICS and everything, more people are going to want, not they're going to drop the dollar, but they're going to increase more alternatives for the BRICS bank and so on, and that will be negative for the US dollar. Okay? Harris, if Harris wins with a sweeping Democratic win, unlikely, but if, let's say, the Democrats will get the Senate and so on and so forth, then it will be quite negative for the dollar. Because why? Because he will increase taxes, and Trump will fee, and Powell will fee. And if you increase taxes, inflation is going to come down a little bit faster. The economy is going to be constricted, and there will be a need to cut interest rates. Okay. يعتبر فوز هارس مع اكتساح ديمقراطي واسع النطاق في مجلس النواب ومجلس الشيوخ أن يوسع حريتها في رفع الضرائب. رفع الضرائب راح يعطي إغلاق اقتصادي وراح يسكر الأكسجين وسيمهد الطريق لتخفيض فائدة أسرع. This is what tax hike, it's self-explanatory. Okay. A corporate tax increase under Harris, which would strengthen the case for rate cutting.
Ashraf, I'm sorry to interrupt, but let's ask a question here so we can be a little bit more clear regarding something. Okay, we understand that the odds and the numbers and the percentages, they can vary between a channel and another, especially nowadays. We've seen it before and we're seeing it again, nothing new, right? But if you look at the percentages, they're like super close. There's literally either 0.5% or 1% difference. No matter which channel are you looking at. So even with the seats or with the number of seats but in the بالمجلس اللي بده يصير. So with that issue, it means that we have a certain balance and there's a split, and that split basically creates a certain chaos and problem on the street, which is something that everyone is afraid of.
Absolutely.
Okay, so how does that affect? Like, I still wanna know in a clear way, because in my opinion, okay, we're gonna continue playing or trading within the same levels.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a bigger range. That's the only difference that we're gonna have on the dollar index. Some volatility. We're not gonna see a trend as we are seeing lately. That's my opinion. But in reality, or if we wanna analyze the market as it is.
Yeah.
And with the chaotic thing that's going to happen, because the percentages are so near and so next to each other that we might see a lot of problems. What happens to the dollar? That chaos will create a weakness, right? This will create weakness in the dollar. Am I right?
I will approach that question the easy way.
Okay.
The easy way, which is you buy gold.
Okay.
Because if we are going to dance and jump on every little change in the music, when you go to the nightclub and the DJ is going to change the music every 5 minutes and you feel that you have to dance to a different song, but what you do, you relax and you see what happens. Sorry if anybody doesn't go to the nightclub. بس إذا في حفلة وبغيروا الموسيقى كل 5 دقائق وانت بتحس انك تشعر انك بدك تعمل رقص هيك وهيك وهيك, you're going to go crazy. Because you are right, Dominic, and you are right, Noor. And here is the thing. The closer it is, ladies and gentlemen, November the 5th is the elections on a Tuesday. Chances are you will wake up on a Wednesday, wake up, assuming you're going to go to bed, you're going to wake up and there will be no announced president. It's going to be messy.
That's one thing I believe that might happen. It's going to take about a few weeks.
Right. And Trump is already saying that there is cheating. So he's already saying that. So it has to be يعني a 20% difference for him to be quiet and to admit it if he lost, right? but it's gonna be very choppy. And for those of you, ladies and gentlemen, there is a difference. These are called the polls. This is a rihan. هذا مطبق على الرهان, which is basically based on the political betting markets. On the polls, it's closer. But here is what happened. Before I answer your question, here is what happened in 2016. So you can see, so let's start with this. So the beginning of the rectangle, the beginning of the box is November 2016. As you can see, the white is yields. Yields went up, and then they start, and so they went up because he was supposed to be good and friendly for the economy and inflation. And don't forget, the Fed was raising interest rates back then. This is the green and the red is dollar yen. So dollar yen pushed higher. This is going to be complicated because right now the Bank of Japan could actually be raising rates. So this could be different. But here is the thing. Now pay attention to this. The yellow is gold, الأصفر هو الذهب, والأزرق الدولار, and the blue is the dollar. Because the Fed was raising rates, the dollar went up, and then it stopped right at the head of the new year, right? 2017, it stopped and it started to go down on many reasons. And gold bottomed just slightly before. Now, so how do you make money in this? You buy gold. Because think about it. If Trump wins, he's going to be kind of a little bit of inflationary. Bond yields will go up. Maybe gold will drop for a short term. It will drop for a short term, but it will be choppy, but it will be a good buying opportunity. Okay, if she has favorable numbers for her, gold will be the easy way, right? And now you can increase it. And now here's what you want to do. This is another chart for everyone. So basically, this is the political market. Now I'm going to include the market, and I'm going to include Bitcoin. So you see what the green here? The green is the S&P, and the white is Tesla. I'm not going to get into this. I'm going to get into this. Now look at this. You see the vertical white line? The vertical white line, الخط الأبيض العمودي, هذا منذ ما بدأ توقعات ترامب فاتت هاريس. When Trump went over Harris in the polls, al-asfar, the yellow yields, pushed higher. The blue or the green, Bitcoin, start to push higher. بين قوسين, in parentheses, even if Kamala wins, she is not going to be, I don't want to say the word stupid, but the government of Kamala, they're not going to be stupid enough to make everything bad for Bitcoin. They're going to provide regulation. They're going to provide clarity. But obviously, the clear, easy winner for Bitcoin right now is Trump. And so the green or the blue or whatever, this is Bitcoin. And look how it went up after Trump went up. You see that? Ahmar lafog, Trump, Bitcoin lafog. And this is DJT, Donald J. Trump Company. Look where it was. All right. It was at $21. كانت $20. الآن صارت $50. What do you want to do? Do you want to hedge yourself? بدك تحوط؟ إيش بدك تعمل? If you buy Bitcoin, if you buy the dollar, if you buy dollar yen, will you sell euro dollar? All right. If you sell euro dollar and you buy gold and you buy DJT, are you hedged? What do you think? Maybe not, صح?
Maybe not.
It depends on the election.
Right, but here's the thing. So regardless of, this is what the hedge is, Dominique, right? I want to hedge myself.
Regardless of the outcome.
If she wins, if he wins, how do I protect myself? How do I reduce the downside? So if she wins and I'm buying DJT, I would lose money. But if I'm buying gold, I will do well. And it depends how you buy DJT. Do you buy it on margin? Do you buy it on 500 to 1? Do you buy it on 200 to 1? Do you buy it on cash? Do you buy the call options?
Yeah, but Ashraf,
I would like to ask you here a question about when it comes to how to trade it. So there's a lot of most of the time you'll get the same questions. Is this positive? Is this negative? But I always bring it back into risk management. When it comes to risk management, A lot of people would ask the same question. What is the percentage that you use?
Right.
But I'm not going to ask you this question, not how much do you use, but do you actually stay within one market?
Okay, okay, good question. I think the use of funds as a percentage of the account is going to have to be small. Will I go into different markets? You bet. It depends what the Bank of Japan would have done around. It depends if I'm going to have short sterling positions. I will have short sterling positions, okay? I will have gold, I will have long gold. So, يعني فهمت علي? So I will be in sterling, I will be in gold. Will I be in NASDAQ? Maybe not. But I will be in at least 3 markets. And because I will be in 3 markets, very volatile, I need to use now. How much do I want to use? There are some people who say, I'm not using more than 20% of my account. But the real conservative will tell you 5%, 10%.
Fair enough.
But other people will say, okay, no. I will use 25% of my account. But every loss in every position should be cut to 5% of the account.
Yeah.
So these are the things that you have to play with, and that's a very good question because that's the most important question.
So now with the explanation that you gave us, Ashraf, I think mainly what you're focusing on, despite who's going to win, Trump or Harris, to be able to hedge yourself, you need to hedge yourself with crypto and with gold, and mainly gold, because it's a win-win situation. Despite the dip or whatever correction that it might do, it's going to be a correction where the buyers are going to interfere and then re-push the market up because the major trend is still up. And what about silver at the same time? To answer, we have a question, to be honest. We have from Abdullah. He's asking us, he's saying that every action has a reaction and it's the same as the law of physics. So there's a connection between everything. For a day trader, how can he make money out of this? I think you already answered that part. And we're going to talk about oil stocks and the rest of the things that we can benefit from. But let's just discuss now gold and silver, because we already started with this conversation. In your opinion, this is the perfect hedge, or this is the best hedge against both candidates?
I think so. Best.
What about silver?
Okay, okay. No self-respected analyst should be in a webinar, speak about silver, and not warn people that the leverage in silver is 5 times faster and bigger than gold. Okay? ولا واحد ولا محلل اللي عنده احترام لحاله مش لازم يسترجي يتكلم على الفضة بدون ما يحذر على رافعة المالية.
على موضوع الليفرج أو الرافعة المالية.
We have to be realistic. So we can look all nice and cute and silver gold ratio and this and that. Really? You're gonna go to silver, it drops 20 cents, you're finished. You can kiss your elections goodbye.
Yeah, but now let's just try to explain it to someone. Let's say they understand the leverage, they understand the margin and the risk management.
I won't touch it. Okay, I'll tell you. I am the expert. Here's what I do. I only touch silver when I'm very sure what the dollar is going to do and what gold is going to do, and I want to increase the action. I go to silver. But sorry, I want to go somewhere else. Before I go to metals, قبل ما أتكلم عن المعادن لازم أتكلم عن الأسهم اللي بتربح مع Harris. I need to, and FSLR is one of the companies that will gain when Harris wins. We have to be even-handed when we do these webinars. Okay, we cannot just be one-sided. FSLR is going to benefit from the U.S. Inflation Act, okay, of Biden. FSLR is a solar company, and you can see, look what it did. This is what it did, and this is what Kamala did. So Kamala blew coming down on October, and this is what the company did. Blew.
Wasn't this Ashraf when Biden dropped out of the race?
No, because when he dropped off and she came in, everybody was happy and she gained. it was a slightly it was much later. No.
Yeah.
He dropped
That's
off
because
much later.
Kamala usually supports tech, green energy, and
energy.
Yes, and agriculture. So basically, eventually, most of the stocks that usually support that will work the same way as Kamala, right? As Kamala
And
numbers.
this is the poster child of them. FSLR is one of them. There is a very good company which is construction, road, not very sexy, but it's about construction, and ROAD. It's like the best kept secret. ROAD, تعبيد الطرق, البنية التحتية والفوقانية, infrastructure, everything. This is a great company, and obviously the Democrats are going to be good for that. Okay. Trump was known that he was not very good for infrastructure when he came in. So before we go to gold and before we go to metals, these are the kind of company. FSLR Road. If you want to know more information, you can come in to my Twitter account and so on and so forth. But going back to gold, so yes, Dominic. So here is why silver. I only try to play silver when, let's say, gold has broken above a key level and the dollar is weakening. That's where I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna play bully. راح أتشاطر على الفضة. فهمت علي? But right now, I'm not gonna touch silver. It's too volatile. Even the experts are too volatile, because what they will have to do, they will have to reduce the leverage. They will have to reduce the allocation of funds, and they won't do much. But here is what silver. If you'd like to see a chart of silver,
yeah, actually,
let me ask you a question here. Do you still believe silver, or do you believe that this move will take us back to 2011?
Which is mean up or down?
50. 2011 up.
Oh. It seems it will. Technically, there are many ways you can do it. In the webinar that I had, I argued that we are some key levels, but so you can take the distance between 30 and between 18. Okay, so basically 18 and 30 is what? Is 12,
you can do
12 plus
17.
30, 42. So you're looking at an initial 42 level, 43, which basically is a Fibonacci level with this. All right, but this has still to go, but it needs to clear 35 first. 35, then it goes.
Yeah, it's not too far anymore.
Not too far, but let's going back to this. So this is a very old chart. This is from 22. This is a chart from November 22. Gold. Okay, هذا مخطط قديم من نوفمبر 2022. شوف كيف الذهب. Cup and handle. Every 10 years there is a high, more or less. Now, where are we? We are here. This chart was made a day ago, yesterday, امبارح. هذه من يوم أمس. Look how we penetrated. But the problem for the US economy is not just deflation or recession. Could be inflation. هذا اللي خايف عليه. This is what could be dangerous. Or this is what I'm afraid about. All right.
And especially if Trump wins, basically.
Right. Especially if Trump wins. And absolutely. It will be inflation. And what happens? Powell, who is worried, who is dealing with rate cuts, it's going to put a big wrench in his engine. And that would be one of the biggest problems, guys. So yeah. And that would be the difference between between what? Between a margin call or refunding your account. At the end of the day, that's what it's have to be, So gold, maybe some people, here is the problem. خلينا نحكي على شيء واقعي كثير مهم. We have to speak about something very important. 2 years ago, when gold was around 1,600, everybody was saying, معروفة الذهب رايح على 2,900. It's going to 2,800. How many retail clients have made money? They all shorted. Because everybody has something in their brain. لأنه الإنسان الكائن الحي اللي بتداول الفوركس عنده إشي في مخه، هو بفكر حاله أفلاطون زمانه، his reflex إنه دائما بحب يروح against the market. بيشوف إشي ارتفع هو بيقول إنه لا هذا بده يبيع. Most people lost money shorting gold, trying to short gold, trying to be contrarian, trying to be smart. لأنه هو in his own bedroom, he has a formula. I think his son gave it to him, ولا her daughter gave it to her. They told her that, you know what, Daddy, I think 2,650 is a big resistance.
Is the top. They're trying to pick the top.
لما يشوف على يسار المخطط ما بيشوف ولا شيء. It's a new high because RSI is at 80%. But he keeps on ignoring that debt is getting worse. Inflation is still a risk. Cuts are here. And 3,000 could be it. And again, I had a webinar on August when gold was 2,400. I said 2,770, we're going to see it. Where I'm going to put my money in? Would I still want to buy gold? I think, a seasonality speaking, it's going to gain a little bit until the beginning of next week. And then, كل واحد لحاله, everybody is alone. And that's where you really have to be reactionary. If you want to buy gold ahead of the results, إذا بدك تشتري الذهب 5 ساعات ولا 7 ساعات قبل الانتخابات, if you want to buy, assuming you did not buy at the top, because that's the other thing. صح? Oh, Ashraf said, let's buy ahead, because he said either way it's good for gold, but it depends where you bought it. صح? If you bought it at 2,789,
here's always the thing.
or at 2,780, the thing is, any $10 decline is going to send you to hell. بعيد الشر عليك. صح ولا لا?
I mean, that's one of the main things that, you know, whenever you see everybody's on the same page, you start to get worried. But at the same time, whenever you see retail are on the same page and you're in another position, you've kind of like not question your position that much, because again, it depends on when you buy. And this is what we basically always hear from people. Whenever I buy, the market goes down. Whenever I short, the market goes up. The broker is against me. The broker is against me. The market is against me, without looking again at the you know, when do you buy, when do you sell? Most of the time they're buying late, just like as you said, and without looking at another thing is basically risk management. Whenever you say risk management, people saying, okay, but what does it mean? And you start hearing about, you know, people talking about, you know, doubling, tripling their account within one day, or, you know, using the elections again as another example. What can I do a few hours before the elections? Can I just go? Even today, I got a question. What is the best position I can take before the elections is announced, like before the results are announced, that I can make money like by 20, 30%, regardless of the risk? I don't care about the risk, but can you please give me a position or an idea? How can I make 20% regardless of the position? So,
right, Dominic. Sometimes
I know, I would love to.
مرات أفضل صفقة هي عدم فعل أي شيء. The best sometimes is not to do anything. But you know what, guys, we are
you will
all
save 20-30%.
But listen, let's be realistic. We are all human beings, and ما بدنا نحكي بطريقة إنه إحنا بنعرف كل شيء أحسن من المتداولين.
أكيد لا.
Because we're all human beings, and even if you try to be like this, when you see the news, you're going to try to put your finger in the sauce and taste it. Okay? يا عمي بصحتين عليك. You can do it. You can go and taste the sauce, but do it. Be very carefully, لأنه there is going to be some very volatile movement. راح يكون فيه تحركات عنيفة كل 10 كل 5 دقائق يمين وشمال, اللي you will not be able to explain. You will be able to explain, but later on. Okay? لأنه the dealers in the trading desks, in the hedge funds, in the algos, they're going to have all the TV stations. They're going to have the polls. They're going to have the rumors. They're going to have everything. And they're going to try, the algos are 10 times faster than you. And they're going to be pushing these market moves. And you will be trying to make sense out of them and to follow them. So be careful. And even when you try to contrarianize them, حتى إذا بدك تروح ضد السوق.
Okay, so Ashraf, as long as you're sharing your screen, can you put Dow Jones for us, please?
Yeah. I'm not going to touch that even if you paid me.
Yeah. Now I have a question.
You're asking him the things that he doesn't want to touch.
Yeah,
fine.
that's one of the
Let's
things,
look at it.
one of the many things. I want to ask Noor a question, because now we know that Trump is gonna basically let's say push the industrial economy, and he's gonna work on that part. He's gonna favor the US companies. He's gonna try to get a lot of investments from outside. He's gonna put taxes on all the incoming goods and products that is coming from outside the US. And I believe if he's gonna win, we're gonna see the trade war same as before, and we're gonna start following tweets, if we can still call them tweets.
Mhm.
And this is the whole thing. But if Trump wins and Dow Jones, we all know it's the perfect. That's nice. We have
Okay,
Nasdaq.
I'm putting the three of them.
There you go.
I'm putting
that's perfect.
Nasdaq,
That's a perfect scenario.
S&P, and Dow. صحتين. اتفضل choose from the buffet.
So exactly. So if Trump wins, usually, or the way he's gonna run things, it should be favorable and be positive for Dow Jones. Now, if Kamala wins, it's gonna be positive for Nasdaq, because she's pushing technology, clean energy, and all these stuff, right? S&P is just in the middle ground that is gonna maintain a certain level. If we're gonna see a move on Dow Jones, what's gonna be the next levels, at least for a week from now? What are the major levels? And same for the Nasdaq, because now we know that we have the earnings and the tech companies, and we're seeing a lot of beautiful earnings that were unexpected, and it's pushing basically Nasdaq up to most probably a new high, or at least something near that. So what are the levels, so we can explain to our clients and to our attendees?
I mean, at least the levels, if you're talking about Dow Jones in general, you have like the 42,400s to start with, 42, even the 42,200, and the main one would be 42,500. Looking into next week, before you can talk about record high. Now, I think also it is safe to say, and I think it's also very important to say, even if whether Kamala Harris or Trump, one more time, I would like to say again, markets, even if we get another correction, what is it called? This would be another opportunity for who did not basically join the rally or join the party over the past two years, or since the end of 2023. That's one point. And at the same time, consider this, which is I try to kind of like teach people as much as I can. This market is basically built, the structure of this market is basically to raise cash, to raise value. So whenever we see any kind of a correction or a decline, whether if it's because of a crash, because of crisis, because of a bear market, because of earnings, I would like to take the opportunity in this one for not just the short term, but also for medium to a long term. So I would say again, I mean, if you're asking me where this correction might continue, if that correction happened, which I think it's going to happen at some point, maybe the 40,000, 4,000, that would be fair. I wouldn't be betting much against the market for a long term. I would be more than happy to wait on a correction in order for me to go long again, just like how I did with China recently. Pessimism was all over the world about China, and that they will not be able to, or GDP is bad, and they're going to keep on slowing down, and so on. And then we got a very nice 30% to 40% even rally since the beginning of the year.
So we're talking about the major support level on the weekly chart for the Dow Jones. That's the maximum extension.
42,200.
It's right here. It's right in the monitor.
Oh, there you go.
That's why I'm talking
so
about.
This is the weekly, and the orange is the 21 weekly moving average. البرتقالي متوسط ال 21 اسبوع، هذا اسبوعي. وزي ما بتشوفوا, if you can see the market since April, it likes to drop towards the 21 moving average week, and then it pushes up. one, مرة لمس متوسط 21 اسبوع، مرة، مرتين، ثلاثة، أربعة. So in the event that Harris or Trump doesn't do well, it makes sense to go from let's say, 42,400 to 41,000, and that's a 5% decline. You
Or
go
maybe
in
even a
here
little
and
bit less as well. Maybe
your
till
question,
40 as
Dominic,
well.
was, okay, what about the upside? What if it's something there is a Trump positive?
Exactly.
Right. Well, before you answer your question, we'll say, where is the Dow at the point of the election results, right? Where is it? But yeah, it could push higher while you're talking about a trend line resistance and so on and so forth. And naturally, 43.5, 43.4 is going to be a resistance.
Yeah.
But you really have to be careful. But Dominic,
the risk-reward ratio is low.
Sorry?
The risk-reward ratio at the moment, from where we are at the moment, it's very low. So eventually, it's not the perfect trade, but just to define the levels at least. So we know, so the market knows, or the clients would know what to do at these levels. What is the major support? What is the major resistance? Now, if we've done Dow Jones, and that's amazing. What do we expect from NASDAQ as well? Because Harris is a big supporter for tech. Now, despite that, Trump as well has been supported from Elon Musk as well, and all the publicity and the work that they've been doing together. But
He's
still,
been rewarding people $1 million a day.
yeah, which is a bit weird, to be honest. But still, it's taking a lot of viewers. So, would NASDAQ act the same way if Harris wins?
Yeah, I don't think that Trump is so bad for technology, like you are alluding to it. He's not going to be that bad for it. Okay, if you think about it, by the way, there were a few speeches that Harris could be also not so good for technology, to do with legal lawsuits and so on and so forth. But overall, it's going to be positive. شوفوا guys, I think that overall what I'm concerned about, الشيء اللي بيقلقني هو what the Magnificent Seven are doing and what technology are doing. So let me just try to show you. So this is the percentage increase, the percentage change since the beginning of the year. Okay, شايف هون, you see on the left? From the left is the beginning of the year. This is the percentage change. يعني the beginning of the year, بداية السنة كلهم كانوا صفر. Obviously, the orange is NVIDIA. NVIDIA is up 190%. If you think NVIDIA is up 190%, that's nothing compared to the 270% of my baby MicroStrategy. Okay? Which everybody should have been in.
Yeah.
And I got it in July and I was late. But listen, so here is what I want to say, guys. And there is something شوي الشيء اللي عم بقلقني انه technology is divided into AI, يعني semiconductors AI and semiconductors not AI. So if you look at NVIDIA is doing well, but if you look at these guys, الأخضر, the green is Meta. هلا Meta, did it hit the high? Did it break the high? يعني it did. What about Amazon? Let's make this bigger.
Still the same.
يعني the momentum in the Magnificent Seven is not what it used to be. Amazon, I'm trying to. All right.
I mean, even Google. Google after earnings, yes, we did see like some sort of I mean, their earnings were not bad at all. They were much better than expected. They beat across the curve.
Yeah.
But so as you said, all of them, they're still far away from record high.
Yeah, يعني Amazon الأصفر, is it at a high? No. Look at the yellow. This was the high. Microsoft, the red. This was the high. Is it at the high? No. Apple, يعني this is the blue. Sorry, the chart is not that clear. But Apple, so, and then you have Apple is the blue. You see the blue. And then you have so the NASDAQ is near the high, but it's not at the high. And then you have Tesla, which is at the high. And Tesla is, you know what, Dominic and Noor, you asked me what stock would you get if blah, 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 if him. Tesla is one of those stocks that will do well either way, because there is a special relationship between him and Trump, and because it's a high tech, it's a tech and it's a clean environment company, it's with her. Who he wants to be, يعني وزير. He wants to create a new ministry for himself.
Oh yeah, efficiency, government efficiency, something. I think. Yeah.
So what I wanted. So when you ask me about Nasdaq, yes, Nasdaq is doing well, but here's the Nasdaq. It is doing very well, but it's doing well. The Magnificent Seven are pushing higher, but they still, for some reason, لسبب ما, Magnificent Seven ما عم يقدروا يكسروا بسهولة القمم السابقة. وكل العبء نازل على Nvidia. All the effort is on Nvidia. So yesterday, listen to this, AMD, they came in with good earnings. They're down.
Yeah.
Right? And then you have other thing. You have يعني I will tell you, I will just lay it on the table. I can even show you يعني I have 3 different pension holdings, you know, and my top holdings: MicroStrategy, AMD, Micron, AOSL, which is actually, do you know who's their client? AOSL, Nvidia. Taiwan Semiconductor, whose client is Nvidia. Nvidia and AMD, they're buys. Like they tell you, in the gold rush, you don't look for gold, you build shovels. You sell shovels for people who go and look for gold. في وقت لما الناس كانوا يدوروا على الذهب في 1940 و 1840 بأمريكا، الناس ما كانوا يستثمروا في البحث عن الذهب، كل الناس كانت تدور الذهب. ايش الناس كانوا يسووا؟ الناس الأذكياء كانوا يستثمروا في صناعة الشوفلز. كيف تحفر في كيف تحفر في الأرض؟ أنت بتستثمر في المعدات هذه، بتبيعها للناس، واللي حب يلقى الذهب يلقاه، وما يلقاه، لكن كلهم راح يشتروا العدات منك. And this is what they do. You don't necessarily have to buy Nvidia. You don't have to buy. You buy the company who Nvidia buys from. Okay, and the same thing with the memory. The memory, you have 3 companies that make these big memories: Micron, Samsung. Samsung have problems with the union. You buy Micron and you buy the other one, but yeah, and then you diversify. We spoke about diversification. Sorry, I think maybe we're running out of time. كيف بتنوع البورتفوليو? How do you diversify? You all know that everybody wants to build AI, want to spend money on electric utilities. The electric utility companies, there is the search for electric. So where do you put your money? You put your money in these companies that I even mentioned. You know, you put it in Dominion Energy. Dominion, if you see one of my videos, it's one of the stellar, strong electric utilities because it's based in Washington, D.C. area. Look what it is. We got it in May, and everything is clear. And we told our WhatsApp group, and we got it in way around 51, it's at 60. You know, there's a Duke Energy, which is a good one. But you have to look at something else. Nuclear energy. Why? Because all this power that you want to get from AI is not enough to get it from electric utilities. That's why Microsoft have hired their chief nuclear official. That's why Amazon have invested in one of the nuclear reactors. So your nuclear plays, NXC. NXC is one of them. Okay? And then you have many others which we can talk about. فعندك nuclear, عندك this. Then you have pharma. Everybody is talking about Ozempic. Everybody is talking about the Danish company. And I got into this company. Roche, a Swiss company, which the CEO of SquaredFinancial knows Switzerland very well. But Roche, everybody knows that Roche, they do blood cancer, but they are also in weight loss, and their Roche Holdings is a solid company. That's what it's doing. Okay, so it's 270, so it's doing very well. And then we can go more and more.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of options when it comes to.
Because I hope this was beneficial because I covered it very fast, but we have to. And if you want more, then you can speak with.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, they can still look at the recording again.
Exactly. We're gonna, because we had a question regarding that part, we're gonna publish this on our channel as well. Let me go back quickly to a subject that we've had a lot of questions about. Most of the, let's say, articles are talking that if Trump gets elected, he has a policy that is that will push inflation a bit up, and then this is going to affect the market in a direct way, which is eventually will affect gold and safe havens and whatever we spoke about. Now, we do know, in fact, that in both policies for Harris and for Trump, they both presented in their schedule or in their business plan the amount that they will spend when they get elected, and it's a very near, like the numbers are like super near 1.7 and 1.6. So I don't think there's a big difference between them, and both of them, if they're gonna spend that much, they will cause and they will basically feed inflation. Why is Trump considered as that person that is gonna push inflation up, and Harris is not considered like that? Or is it just the press or the publicity or the different magazines that we're reading from?
I mean, mainly you have the tariffs to start with, because he's talking about, I think, I don't know the number exactly, but he was talking about that he will basically increase tariffs on all the imports from China by 30 to 60%. I think he even proposed something over 100%. And
Yeah, there are few products on 100%. Yeah,
exactly. So tariffs on from China, that's at least the inflationary. I don't know if Ashraf wants to jump in on this one too.
Sorry, I just got distracted here by something. Why is Trump more inflation?
Yeah, considered as more inflation than
Considered
Harris.
more inflation than
business
Harris.
plan, they both have the 1.7 and 1.6 or 1.78 or 1.62. Depends on different articles that you read. So
was this from an Arabic speaker or English speaker?
What do you mean? The question?
Yeah.
Oh, the question.
No, this is English speaker and on my Instagram.
All right. Well, like I said earlier, look, Trump is going to cut. So right now, when he cuts taxes, it will increase liquidity in the market. People will be playing games and so on and so forth. It will be good for investment. And the reason I said, because when he cuts taxes, people are going to be buying and selling, and the economy will be pushed higher. And if you're going to have
create jobs,
sorry,
it will create jobs as well, right?
No, well, it depends. If you're going to cut taxes on capital gains taxes, the channel of increasing confidence all the way that it's going to increase demand, increase jobs, that is to trickle down. That is going to take a while. But the short term, it will create activity, buying and selling, and the government will, may do well in the long term from the capital gains and so on and so forth. And eventually that will stimulate the economy. And because the Fed is already cutting taxes, they're already putting the monetary oxygen in the economy, the fiscal oxygen, two oxygens will be more inflationary than deflationary. But the more important answer is when you increase tariffs of everything that you import. When you go to Costco, when you go to Walmart, and you want to buy that foreign tissue, that foreign t-shirt, that foreign tool, that foreign that, Trump is going to put at least 10% import. He said he could go up to 30 to 40%. And by the way, Biden did not remove the tariffs that Trump had. So either way, when you're increasing tariffs, you're increasing a tax, and when you increase tax, you are penalizing. You're penalizing importers and buyers, and you are pushing up inflation. So I hope I have explained why Trump, through three channels, the tariff channel, the tax channel, the policy channel, why that is inducing inflation. And do you want to induce inflation while unemployment rate is pushing higher and the Fed is in the middle of cutting interest rates to counter the slowdown in the job market? If inflation is going to push up, Powell is going to have not only one problem, which is a slowing economy, he's going to have two problems to fight with, right? Two opposing problems. And that is a central banker's worst nightmare.
And okay, so eventually we're putting the trade war back on the table. As far as I understand, if Trump is back and elected, we're putting trade war back on the table, and we're going to see that tension and between US and China, and this will basically create uncertainty in the market, risk on, risk off. And we're gonna start trading the indices based on that, same as back in the old days. Same scenario is gonna keep on repeating itself. I think those scenarios we already know them. Now, we did not talk about the commodities, and we do know for a fact that Trump favors fossil oil, and he favors, and he doesn't really care about or at least a lot about clean energy or all those meetings that they do, and he did take a lot of actions regarding that before when he was elected. So the expectation is that the companies will benefit more, especially companies, not just the price of oil, will benefit more if Trump gets elected. If Harris gets elected, do we see or do we expect some losses in those companies? Because the growth is there. Okay, maybe it's not the perfect growth or the expected as it should be, the economic growth worldwide. And we can see that WTI and Brent are pricing that perfectly by bottoming down. But what's going to happen if Harris got elected, or what will happen when Trump got elected? Would we see oil price back to the 70, 80 again if Trump got elected, and the price will remain between 55 and 70 if Harris is there? Is that the scenario?
I agree with you in general. I agree with you. But why would you? The world is full of interesting companies. Why would you waste your time with oil companies? Why? I'm sorry. The world is full of the ability to buy AI company on the dip. Look at, and I'm sorry to answer the question.
No, to diversify. I understand what you're saying, Ashraf. I'm with you. Don't get me wrong. But to diversify, we're gonna diversify our portfolio. The main thing, definitely.
To
diversify.
So I agree with you in general. So
what are the stocks that we can focus on?
So if you're going to have some sort of sell-off, so here's the thing. So yes, net negative short-term Harris on the oil company, whether it's Exxon, whether it's Occidental, or oil itself.
Okay, or any.
You have to think about if raising taxes is going to lead to, let's say, it's going to lead to further rate cuts. Okay, and if he's going to cut rates further, and the economy does not go into a recession because they have cut interest rates early enough without staring recession in the face, maybe they're doing a good job at bringing the soft landing or no landing, right? And maybe oil will push higher, even against with Harris. But that's a medium to long-term play. But I do agree. You said will oil go to probably to the 50s with Harris? Well, here is the other side. The short term, if she comes in and she raises taxes, and that will be negative for the economy despite the Fed cutting rates, and because of her legislation against energy. So yeah, the demand for oil will push up. And let's say China does not really recover, then you may be looking at the weekly chart in oil, and you could be looking towards maybe the 50s. But with Trump, yes, it could be positive for oil. It could be positive for oil. How much lift is it going to get it? It could. I mean, you could go, there is one company which is called Cosmos, which is not very well known. And it's still under, $10. This company here, maybe it is at a nice low, and it could push higher under Trump. But you have Occidental, you have all of these companies. So I think your answer is, I think your question is well taken, and I agree with it.
Okay.
I think also you should not also don't forget about lower oil is not being welcomed by the Saudis as much, or OPEC plus anyway. So I mean, recently, remember since the beginning, or not even the beginning of this year, throughout the past maybe 5 years, each time that we started to see any kind of some pressure on oil, you had at least some sort of verbal interventions, either from the Saudis or from Russia or from the UAE or whatever. But at the same time, I mean, lower oil is possible under either of them, but it also depends on what's going to happen with growth. China, hopefully, I mean, everybody's hoping now after all the stimulus that they've done that oil would push a little bit higher.
Yeah, exactly.
And but again, I just want to go back to the original question. It's very important because Dominique, you are preaching the speech of diversification. I have 3 pension pots for my future. This is not a wild west, right? And this is a diversification. Well, it has 5 or 6 sectors. None of them is oil. Okay. You want to ask someone, what do you think? Ask them, what do they do? Where do they put their money? Let's get straight to the point. Okay. So I own, I think about 12 here, 5 here. I think I own about around 22 or 24 stocks. None of them is oil.
None of them is oil.
None of them is oil, but 5 or 6 different sectors. هلا I just want to say أنا عارف إنه إخواننا العرب اللي مقيمين بالوطن العربي لأنهم عايشين بالوطن العربي فهم يفكروا إنه لأنه هو مجرد عايش في الشرق الأوسط بفكر إنه هو خبير النفط. انسى، هاي زي الناس الخبراء اللي عايشين بالسعودية اللي كلهم عارفين إنه هم خبراء لوسيد واشتروا لوسيد على 50 وعلى 40 وعلى 30 لانه هو عنده ابن عمه بيشتغل بالمستودع لانه هو واحد اللي بصندوق النقد السعودي اللي اشترى. Everybody knows. يا عمي leave your emotions in there. Everybody said انا بدي اشوف التداول. ليش؟ لأن انا بدي اتداول النفط.
وزير النفط ذكر هذا الموضوع على فكرة البارحة.
I'm sorry, hold on. And the Saudi thing, Saudi has already sent us an important message. Saudi said we care about market share بالعربي, they are ready to raise output, so they are okay with lower prices. طبعا not at $50, not at $60. Okay, let's not be reflexive and say, oh, this is the reality. Number one, and so basically, and there is something else اللي الناس بيتجاهلوه. There is something else اللي في شيء ثاني اللي الناس بيتجاهلوه واللي هو عامل الصين. الله يجعل يكون فيه ثورة رابعة بليبيا مع حفتر ومع هذا، والله يجعلهم بيكون عندهم 3 different governments. You may have 4 different governments in Libya, and then oil prices go up. But when China comes in and they issue a bad report, they are still the biggest buyer of oil. And when China gets tired, oil drops. And whether you are based in Tabuk or Ajman or في دمشق ولا المنامة, and you think you are an expert of oil, think again.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay. بما انه you mentioned as well الصين والحركة. شو هلا we move to Arabic I feel. طيب رح نسأل هذا السؤال بالعربي. كفورين بوليسي اليوم بغض النظر اذا ترامب او هاريس ربحوا الالكشن، شو تأثيرهم على الفورين بوليسي؟ اوكي، فورين بوليسي اوريدي حكينا انه طيب ترامب عنده تاكسيشن وعنده تريد وور وعنده هيدا السوابق والتاريخ كله سوا. ما حكينا شيء عن هاريس. شو التوقعات من هاريس؟ كيف حتكون عم تشتغل؟ هل هي بنفس الطريقة تبع بايدن same exact way ولا رح يكون في عنا طريقة مختلفة لتكمل فيها نفس المسيرة؟
وأنا بجاوبك شو جاب الفورين بوليسي للأسواق. Sorry.
We have a question regarding that.
خلاص, let's move to the next question. Let me tell you something.
Listen, foreign policy, this
let
politics,
me,
we're not going to be talking about
wait.
this one anyway. And we even overshoot the timing, I think, did we?
We did بس
116
no
yeah.
مش شجاب يعني you can say السياسة الانعزالية إنه إذا
أكيد
ترامب
100%
بيربح وبيترك أوكرانيا وبيترك روسيا and so on and so forth, people they're going to say إنه صارت أمريكا يعني صارت منعزلة عن شيء، وراح يكون في حركة نوعا ما towards this بنك البريكس واعضاء البريكس ويكون في كثير كلام يعني في استعمال الدولار، استعمال بديل الدولار. بنفس الوقت ما عم نقول انه the dollar is going to crash, but that's what's probably going to happen. اذا هاريس بتفوز، هل سيكون في هناك مواصله السياسه التدخليه في 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 العالم؟ يمكن، ما يمكن، بس شو جاب تاثيره هذا للذهب وللاشياء؟ ما اظن. خليني اقول لك على سبيل المثال. يعني احنا عارفين، شفنا ايش صار. اسرائيل قصفت يعني قصفت غزه، لبنان، ايران، شفنا يعني قتل هنيه، قتل نصر الله و دول سنوار.
حتى اليمن.
هل هذا اثر على النفط؟ وين
مش
النفط؟
كبير.
بالسماء. وين النفط؟ الذهب لساته طالع. الذهب ما له ولا علاقه مع اسرائيل. الذهب له علاقه انه الفائده مش راح ترتفع. It's going to continue to go down. وبنفس الوقت البنك الماليه الامريكيه، وزاره الماليه والخزانه الامريكيه الان عم بتقترض 100 مليار كل عام. And that's it. And this is and gold has to go up. It's the only، زي ما بقول لك، the release valve. كل شيء مسكر، هي the only valve that opens up and gold goes up.
Okay, and do we expect the rate cuts, they will be the same for this year, especially for this year? يعني are we gonna have 2 rate cuts in your opinion? لأنه the pricing of the market, it doesn't show 2 rate cuts fully as not the same percentage, at least خف الpercentage.
I think that time will come. هلا we have 2 more meetings. We have واحد بNovember this year, and then we have in December. Are we? But here is my answer, and I'm not trying to be facetious. Does it matter whether it's going to be 2 or 1? What matters, and the Fed is going to tell you we are going to continue to cut rates this year and next year. Okay? You only worry for the dollar and for the rate cuts if they say, we will have to stop and watch. فهمت علي؟ بس I think they could. It's not only 2 rate cuts. It's is it going to be 25 in November and 25 in December? This is the base case scenario. Okay, maybe they will do 25 in November, and then let's say خلينا نفترض. Here's what we need to.
In December.
What if the rest of November is going to be ugly? People are going to be in their trucks with their guns. The market is going to drop. We will get to the 21st. We will get to the 17th of November. اللي بتذكر اللي كان بتداول in the year of 2000. They did not have we got to Thanksgiving and there was no US president. They had a recount and we got to Thanksgiving. So if we're still gonna go in mid-November without a president, and the public media will be a mess, the social media, there will be unrest. People are gonna go on Twitter and they'll see people going to the capital of Texas, US Capitol, Mish Capital, TAL, Toll of Texas, all of this. That could be problem. And then maybe there is going to be unrest. Maybe Powell is going to come in and going to say, well, we will do 50 basis points, right? The only problem, guys, is not كل الأشياء هذه. It actually could be inflationary, because if you think about it, it could be inflationary, and that could be amazingly positive for gold. But we cannot end this until we talk about Bitcoin.
Yeah, definitely. Why everyone, the question regarding cryptocurrency and Bitcoin in particular, why everyone is saying that this election is gonna be the shapeshifter for the face of cryptocurrency, although I don't think it will be. It's not gonna change a lot of things. It's not because cryptocurrency and Bitcoin in particular, it's been there since a very long time. So we've seen many elections. It's not gonna be affected a lot. Why does the press keep on insisting on showing us that image that this is the shapeshifter? This is where the whole thing is gonna change.
Very easy.
Either it will be
Very
supported
easy
or
answer.
not.
Very easy answer, because this is the first time, the first election where one of the candidates shows up to every Bitcoin summit. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is the only election where Trump has his own coin, where his son is talking about a crypto. His son, he does not know how to talk about anything. لقالي موضوع البيتكوين اللي فالح فيه، الموضوع الوحيد اللي فالح فيه هذا ابنه لترامب، هذا اللي ما بيعرف بيركب جملتين اوكي بدون ما يزعل هذا ولا يزعل هذا، واللي بيحب ترامب ومش عاجبه هالكلام هذا I'm sorry، انا وياك نتكلم وممكن have a nice cup of coffee، بس خلينا نكون واقعيين. حتى إريك ترامب ولا مايكل ترامب the only thing they talk about it's a no-brainer. بنتي الصغيره بتعرف انه بيتكوين is good. Okay, so بس the only difference انه Trump goes and he supports Bitcoin, so there is that association, the mental association, because Trump is going to do what's good for him is good for Bitcoin. That's what matters, and I agree with you, يعني Dominic, is that Bitcoin is more than just about Trump. It's a scarce asset. You cannot play with it. You cannot. It's the best. It's one of the most powerful economic, financial, technological invention. Bitcoin يبقى أحسن وأفضل اختراع اقتصادي مالي تكنولوجي سواء يكون ترامب رئيس ولا كمالا ولا ميكي ماوس. أوكي. وحتى إذا كمالا بتحاول تشدد مين يعني شو اسمها إليزابيث وارن راح تأثر عليها. يا اخي ما كلهم هم بالبرلمان وبالكونغرس they all making money بالcryptos. So let's be يعني realistic. Okay, so what can they do? They're going to raise taxes on Bitcoin. What are they going to do? It's already been taxed.
Yeah, it's already been taxed.
What you need to pay attention is this. What you need to pay attention انه في شيء اسمه the seasonality of Bitcoin. والشيء الآن سيداتي وسادتي أنا راح أعطي لكم الآن مخطط. Whoever is standing they need to sit down. أي واحد اللي قاعد لازم يوقف، واللي يوقف لازم يقعد. Anybody who is okay, because you're going to see this and it's going to blow you away. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready? This is what it's all about at the end of the day.
Go ahead.
يلا. This is what it's all about. هذا يلا. This is, what is this? This is the monthly percentage returns of Bitcoin. 2020 is a halving year. Halving year, we went up in October, November, December, January, February, March. 2016, halving year, we went up October, November, December, January, February. 2024 is also a halving year. October, November, December, وبعدين January, February. And that, ladies and gentlemen, والناس لساتهم مش مقتنعين. ولما كان نزل إلى 56,000 قالوا لي لا أنا بدي أستناه لما يطلع على 40 لأنه بنته وابنه هم فالحين بيعرفوا they have a model when to get in. Right now is at 78, 72 and people are asking me is it a good time to get in? وهكذا المسلسل. And this is Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, بالمختصر, I think again it's easy to say or safe to say that if you don't hold any Bitcoin, you should even at least consider some of it, or even mining companies, or the companies that trade, or at least that have their crypto business.
Yeah, I think now it became a certain percentage that you need to hold it in any portfolio while investing.
At least.
Yeah.
Guys, let me show you something. خلينا أورجيكم إشي. Okay, شوف. المختصر كان المخطط اللي ورجيته by the way. هذا هو المختصر. It's a picture. It speaks 1,000 words. اسمعوا. Bitcoin is up. شايف الرقم هون? Do you see the number here? Bitcoin is up 60% this year. Okay, Bitcoin is up 60%. MicroStrategy is up 270%. MicroStrategy is the fourth or the third biggest corporate owner of Bitcoin. They do it in a leveraged manner. You don't buy it leveraged, you buy it on cash. Okay, this is what we've been saying to our group for ages and ages. Okay, this is Wolf is up 201%. At the end of the day, is buy low, sell high. Okay, Bitcoin is great. بدك تشتري بيتكوين خلال من عبر باينانس ولا كيوكوين ولا عبر Coinbase, that's fine. You want to invest in stocks, you want to buy stocks, MicroStrategy is up 270%. You cannot make this stuff up, guys. Do you understand what I'm saying? And this is the kind of stuff that people say, Ashraf, what do you do apart from speaking loud in webinars? What do you do? Well, we have members. This is what we tell them. This is basically, we told them last week that Bitcoin is going to break a new high on the 23rd. We were late, 6 days late, because it almost hit it. And these are the stocks that we give to our clients here. MSTR, okay? We have MSTR, we have Light. These are the ones that we told them to buy in cash. And that's وهذه هي الخلاصة. What is the short? This is the short term. You need to diversify. You need to buy stocks on cash one-on-one, okay, not on leverage, because you don't want to lose sleep when the thing goes down 15 to 20%, because you're in it for the long haul, guys. Right? And that's basically that. And you have Dominique, you have Noor, and if you want more education or you want more of these sessions, we can do more. But more importantly, when you're going to put your finger in the sauce, لما بدك انت بتحط اصبعك بالمرقه مشان تدوق مشان تلعب بيوم الانتخابات, don't use more than 30 or 20% of your account in one position.
Oh, they'll be pushing it.
But be careful. Actually,
30%.
Exactly. Probably
that would be too much.
10%.
That would be too much. All right. للحضور رح اختم بالعربي وبالانجليزي. للحضور بتشكر حضوركم ان كان على يوتيوب، على السوشيال ميديا، ولا من خلال زوم. اشرف شرفتنا وعطول مليء بالمعلومات. نور ثانك يو كثير لحضورك.
Thank you for having us.
In English this time. So thank you all for attending. Really appreciate the ones that were following us on YouTube, social media, and on Zoom. We're going to keep on posting you with the latest updates and the latest news. Be careful. Do not take a lot of risk, especially in a volatile market, especially nowadays. Be very careful, and we will see you soon. Any question that we did not answer, you are more than welcome to text us on our social media and on our website, or directly to your account managers, and then we will answer all your questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dominic. Thank you, Noor. Thanks, everybody.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Shukran.
Bye. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Noor, Dominic, and Lady.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. See you guys.